Well, that's appropriate.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting day on Route 66. For most of today, that's going to mean Interstate 44, since I got a lot of ground to cover, and along most of this territory, they're the one and the same anyway. So we're going to be passing out of Missouri into Oklahoma and ending the day at Oklahoma City. And between here and there, we've got all sorts of wonderful, strange Americana to see. First things first, we are in a bit of a supercharger desert where the distance between consecutive superchargers is easy to cross, but the distance to the next one is just too far to reach on your own, which means that I'm going to be stopping for small charge-ups again and again and again. So it's going to be a little bit of a hop across the country. While that does give me a good chance to stretch my legs, it also slows me down, which means that I'm going to have to make up some time by driving like an absolute bat out of hell. Welcome to Joplin, like in the song. So Route 66 actually passes briefly through Kansas, but the parallel interstate just avoids it. Since I've been on the interstate to save time until I get into Oklahoma, I decided I'd briefly hop off, drive down this little side road, and ever so quickly enter Kansas, just to say that I've been there. Woo! And welcome to Kansas. Welcomed by pothole. Pretty much immediately back to the highway. Figure out how to pay tolls in Oklahoma, because I guess Easy Pass doesn't work this far out west. That is a shame. Kansas looks about how I always imagined it'd look. Flat, a little bit less green, you know, leaving the Ozarks and hitting the plains. And welcome to Oklahoma, just across from Kansas. We've got about an hour to Catoosa. Hopefully, if I run into some tolls, they'll take my giant pile of change rather than having to figure out some horrible mail-a-check system 2 weeks from now. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, where the waving wheat smells twice as sweet when the winds come right behind the rain. I'm off the interstate and on to actual historic Route 66. I'm just a little ways north of Catoosa, heading in to see the great blue whale. After that, I'm gonna swing through Tulsa, see an interesting sonic effect that's been reported there, and then slide along Route 66 proper for most of the way down to Oklahoma City. Look at this thing. The blue whale of Catoosa. This guy was built as an anniversary gift by the guy that owned the property for his wife. They kept a zoo right up there, and she was apparently very into whales. And you know, you can't keep a whale in a small zoo. Well, you can, but you shouldn't. So yeah, we built this instead. And then local kids would swim in the pool here, and so they made sure they had a diving board and all that. It is metal and wood. I'm not gonna pretend that it isn't a little rickety. Look at that. There's Route 66 over there on the side. There's the gift shop. Everything needs a gift shop with some whale-themed seating. And there's his big old head with his little baseball cap. So they specifically told me I can't jump in, which is kind of sad. Because why else have I been working so hard to maintain this this summer body? Let's go. There's a lot of spider webs and stuff in here. I don't know how well this shows up on the GoPro, but look at that. Spider's missing though. What's up? It's like everybody's been writing their name in here for a long time. I see lots of 2022. Here's 2009, so I guess they didn't really, they haven't covered up everything. Fortunately, I didn't bring a pen. All this as an anniversary gift.
What a terrible precedent to set. Now the rest of us are going to have to try and keep up.
So that was the Blue Whale of Catoosa. Additionally, while I was there, I ran into a guy who called himself the Tattoo Man of Route 66. And sure enough, he did have a lot of tattoos. He showed me his car, which was absolutely clad in Route 66 icons. So the Tulsa Supercharger was actually located at the Hard Rock Casino. Next stop is the center of the universe. Here it is, this weird marker on a random bridge over a railroad in Tulsa. Let's see how the acoustics change as I walk into the center of it. Oh, there it is. I can hear it. I don't know if the camera can hear it, but it's a lot louder here. I suspect it has a lot to do with just the roundness of all these benches. Wonder if it's any more pronounced further down. Hello? Yep, that's exactly what it is. It's just an echo. Interesting echo. Kind of cool. For a Saturday afternoon, this arts district is awful quiet. If it's quiet on a Saturday, when the hell is it busy? I mean, this is art. This is the kind of thing you do on the weekend, right? I don't know. Hard to say. So the entirety of downtown may be dead in a way that I haven't seen since my last visit to San Antonio on a weekend. But at the very least, the coffee shop scene slaps. Stopped at a place called Sona, and they gave me a pumpkin pie latte with as many espresso shots as I'd want. And it's actually better than the Starbucks version, even though it's not as much sugar, which is, you know, I think a benefit to everybody. Also, this walk sign chirps. So does its counterpart. They stop as soon as it says don't cross. Look at that. I think we need more bird-themed walk signs in Austin. I want one that shrieks like a penguin. Leaving Tulsa, heading for Oklahoma City, where I'm gonna get some food and go visit a museum dedicated to Native Americans. Oklahoma, long ago, was known as Indian Territory. This is where the Cherokee, whose, you know, big stone we saw much earlier in the trip, were relocated via that nasty Trail of Tears episode. So this place has a lot of Native American history, not only locally, but from around the U.S. when folks were located here. So there's a new museum that's opened in Oklahoma City dedicated to that subject, and I'm gonna go check it out. Meat time. They're all out of ribs for the day, so I'm just gonna have to make do with that. All right. That meat pile was delicious. I didn't get to try their famous and iconic ribs, but I did get to have their brisket and compare it to the one in Texas, and it's pretty much the same. All the sausages, the brisket, even the coleslaw, they were pretty comparable to what you can get in Austin. The real showstopper was this sauce. The homestyle sweet barbecue was absolutely to die for. With just like a hint of cherry in the background, it was killer, and it transformed the entire meal into something exquisite. So I'm taking a bottle of that back home with me, and I might just order some more if they'll let me. The next stop is the First Americans Museum. I am 38 miles outside of Oklahoma City, and finally enjoying some unadulterated stretches of the Mother Road. Look over there. That's a big cross. Another God Bless America moment, I guess. And here we go, onto Highway 35, the legend. Not only does 35 pass through Austin, where I live, it also passes through Minneapolis on the other side of the country, where I used to live. So I have a long and varied relationship with 35, and it's good to be back. Welcome to Oklahoma City. Heading up to the First Americans Museum. Looks pretty neat. Look at all the places that Oklahoma natives came from. They really got pushed out of everywhere, didn't they? Here are some of those trade beats that were used by Native Americans back in the day.
I can see why they sold Manhattan Island so cheaply. Such things would have been very easy for Europeans to produce.
We're not just going to lie down. We're going to stand up. It might look like we have no chance in hell,
Stickball sticks. Looks very similar to lacrosse.
Well, that one was very interesting. A little bit low on artifacts, but very high on lore, history, pretty much everything you'd actually want to know. Tons to read in there. You could spend 3 hours reading. They also have a replica mound in the back, which I didn't feel like hiking up because I've been to Cahokia and I've seen the real ones. But yeah, it was a pretty great experience. I would highly recommend it. And they also have
This little mini version of the St. Louis Arch with an actual symbol in it. So that's kind of cool.
I want to say that that's a Hopewell hand, but I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to assert that. So yeah, off to the hotel.